What I wanted to cover today was anchoring your clients to you. One of the things with our company that the company itself always did was every year they drew a random sampling of which we had no control and sent our clients surveys on how they thought we as their advisors were doing. And there were national averages that we watched, and my goal was always to far exceed national averages, which is what we did. Because once you get a client, it's a lot easier and less expensive to keep them than it is to go out and find another new client. So that's one reason you'll want to do this. The other reason is your reputation means everything. To me, I've always said when I'm at the end of my life, looking back at the life I've lived, I've got to feel real good about what I've done, how I've done it, the sense of ethics that I've had. So to me, it's really important to make sure that you're teaming up with your clients, that they don't feel you're selling them something, but that you're doing a good job to hold them as your clients because you really care about them. In our office, we had two different entrances. One went into the waiting room, and then there was a back entrance, and I always came in the back entrance. About once a month, and I wouldn't tell anybody when I was going to do it, I would come in the same entrance as the clients because I wanted to see what they saw. I wanted to know that there were no messy boxes around, there was nothing unorganized. I wanted to see the pictures on the wall, the paint on the wall. I wanted to see everything and know that what I'm seeing is what they see, and is that okay with me? If I were to line up 10 people that did exactly the same thing you did, same price, same service, same whatever, what makes you better? What makes you the person of choice for your clients? What makes you stand out? And the level of service you provide quite often can be the difference between them being with you and with someone else. What do you do to go above and beyond? I'll give you a couple of quick examples even in my particular situation. I had a client, it was a new client, paid a financial planning fee. We sat down and did the plan. Between the time they paid me the fee and the time I delivered the plan, they found out he was seriously ill. He was not going to live more than a few more months. And so what did I do to go above and beyond for them? Well, first of all, I threw the plan out because a lot of the things that were in there now no longer applied. We had to redo that at no cost to them. I went to the hospital bed. I helped with paperwork. I'm a notary, so I went there, and when they needed things signed, I sat down with the family and said, this is a really difficult time. These are the kinds of things you need to be thinking about. Make sure you have durable power of attorney, health care powers, is his will in place? I know you don't want to talk about this, but these are things you need to hear. So sometimes it's stepping out of the box, even if there's no pay in it for you, just to make your clients really understand that you really do care about them. What do you want your company to be known for? Can anybody answer that question?
Excellent customer service.
Pardon me?
Excellent
customer service. So anyone who ever hears your name or your company name, the first thing that you want them to come to mind is what a great service she provides. And that when I need her, she's there. And she answers the phone, she is in the office when I need her. I'm not getting answering machines all the time. If by some chance she's out sick, somebody talks to me within a reasonable period of time. I know I can count on her. She's always going to be there when I need her. If something comes up and she can't be, she'll make sure I'm taken care of. That's.
My cell phone is on my answering machine.
Pardon me?
My cell phone number is
on your answering machine. We can talk a little more about that because you also have to have balance in work and life, and sometimes when you're self-employed, that's hard to do. Again, we all know that, but sometimes you get so excited. Oh, I know somebody with the same situation, and here's what happened, and here, gotta watch it, gotta watch it. Make sure they have total confidentiality, because if you don't have confidentiality in front of them, they're gonna doubt whether you're gonna pass on information about them as well. And how do they know that? She said she tells them that they'll never get better service from anybody but her. That's how they know that. Okay, what are you doing to step up and go above and beyond so that they actually feel that and see that? Think about it. If you were the client coming into your office, why would you want to be there rather than this person's office or that person's office or that store or that whatever? And what really sets you apart? Do you have quicker response time than maybe your competition? Is it a unique experience or a personal touch? Which I'll tell you about some of the unique personal things we did. Choice of interaction with you. Do they have choices in the way they want to interact with you? Whether it be they want someone answering the phone. They are so busy they don't want to talk to you on the phone. They want to know you're going to check your email every hour in case they email you. Do you have a website they can go to post questions? Fax machine, traditional mail. Are you offering them different ways of approaching you? Not just what's convenient for you, but think about what's convenient for your client and making sure you're keeping yourself up to speed with the technology that's out there and what they can do. And we had standards and we kept track. I had the staff logged everything in, and I knew how long it took from when a client called to when they were replied back to. Even if you don't have their issue resolved, you still need to get back to them. So what the staff were trained to say is, tell me as much as you possibly can about what you're calling about so that we can do all the research. That way, when we call you back, we'll actually have answers. If I don't have an answer within 24 hours, you will get a call from me anyway, so that you will know that we're still working on it, where we're at, and if I have any additional questions for you. That way, at least they know you didn't forget them, that you are keeping on top of it, and then every 24 hours after that, if necessary, the staff would call and say, still don't have an answer, just want to let you know, here's where we're at, should know by such and such a time. Now, if the answer was, we would know in a week, then they would say, I should have more information for you in a week. I'm going to call you on such and such a day. And then we had computer systems where all that was logged in. When the staff came up in the morning, they would pull up the list and it would tell them everything they had to do for that entire week that they told somebody they were going to do. And then it got checked off as they did it, so I knew that that was accomplished. Now, that doesn't mean you have to have all the answers. I don't think there's anyone on this earth, including me after 25 years, that has all the answers. And that's okay, you don't have to. You just have to know how to get the answers that they need so that you can assist them, but you don't have to answer all their questions and know all the answers right then. They have to feel confident that you will step up to the plate, do whatever you can, and when you can't, you'll say you can't. And you will work with them on how to get the problem resolved if you can't do it. I always feel what goes around comes around. And when I first started with the company, they used to give us a manual about this thick, about once a year, and it was how we were paid on all the different products that we offered. Never once in 25 years did I even open that book. As soon as I got it, I threw it in the garbage. I did not want to know. Because I felt that if it was even back somewhere in the back of my head, I didn't want it to influence me in any way, shape, or form on what I was going to do for a client. I'm a firm believer, you do the right thing and it'll come around. You will do fine. And it happened. It worked. We did consulting with our clients, so it really wasn't selling. It was talking to them about what their needs and goals are, and once I knew all of that, then I can say, okay, this is what I think your next step should be, and here's your options and how you work with me. So if you want to cover all of this, here's what the cost would be, and this is what it includes. If you feel that that fee is inappropriate, or you just can't afford it, or for whatever reason you don't want to do all of this, we can break it down to whatever pieces are important to you. Eventually we will want to cover everything, but it's up to you when and how much we cover, and they had choices. We all make mistakes, and for me, hopefully I only make it once and it never happens again. When a client came in and said, I did exactly what you said and I went and bought it from so-and-so, only had to happen once. What was the problem with that? The problem with that was I wasn't really clear with them on exactly what they could do with me. They didn't know. They knew what I charged them for. They knew what I gave them. But at that point, I wasn't good enough in telling them all the other things. I mean, some people were up here talking about stores and belts and shirts. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Because if they think you only sell shirts, when they need a belt, they're not going to go to your store. You know, if they think you only sell suits, when they need a dress, they're not going to go to your store. So think about that. Do your clients really know the entire scope of everything you can offer them? And if they don't, it's your fault, not theirs, because you've never told them. So what we did was we developed a brochure. Actually, our home office developed a brochure, and I made it part of our agenda with every client from that point forward that they got a copy of the brochure, and I sat down and I just said to them, You don't need all of this now. I just want you to know what it is we do here, because all you do know so far is what you've gotten from me. And I need you to know that we do far more than that, so that if something does come up in the future, you know that you can call on us. Matter of fact, what I would ask of you is, anytime you need, want anything, or have questions, call us first. If we don't do it, we'll tell you, and we'll try to give you recommendations on where to go. So if you're having trouble with it, maybe you in your masterminds group or with some of your other network women, get together and see what you can do to help critique each other and come up with a really good 30-second message. So if you enter an elevator, by the time you get off the elevator, every single person in there wants to know more. And that's the key. From the day I started in this business in '81, I don't know why I did it until later when I realized why I did it. I saved every article, every picture, anytime my name or picture was printed anywhere. And then after a few years, I said, you know what? Instead of clients coming into the waiting room reading magazines, I want them to see and learn all about me. If it's a new person that's never met me before, I've had my picture in USA Today. I've been quoted. I've been on live radio and TV shows, call-in shows. I have had my picture and answers to financial questions in papers all over the country, at least once a month probably for 20 years. I saved it all. So that's what they look at, not magazines, not newspapers. And when it's a new person coming in, we ask them to come a few minutes early. They sit there and look at that before they see me. They went into the computer, looked up everybody's birthday, anniversary, all the things we knew about them. And if it was going to be around the time of our event, we gave that list to the a cappella group, because all the people that came had name tags on, and it was their job to find that person, sing happy birthday to the birthday person, sing happy anniversary to the anniversary person, and it was wonderful. I call it front stage, backstage. Front stage is everything the client sees, so when you go to a show and you're sitting in the audience, all you see is what's on stage, and that's your experience. What you don't see is what's behind the stage and how they put that all together and all the problems they're having with lighting and set design and all of that. It's the same thing in your own office. So front stage, what is your client seeing? What is their experience? Backstage, how efficient is your office running? Does everybody get along? Is the work all getting done on time? Are you keeping track? Do you know when things are falling through the crack? Are you giving excellent service, or you just think you do but you don't really know because you're not on top of it all? So being on top of what's front stage for the client and what's backstage for what's making that client experience happen is really, really important. You want them to bring clients like them because you want to duplicate them. And the way to duplicate them is to find out what they like, find out what's important to them, give them that, and ask them to bring someone like themselves as well. But then that's not your goal for your business. Your type of business, your goal is to do the right thing for them and they don't need you anymore. And then the goal is that you've done such a great job with them that they now send other people who need you, and then they send other people. And if you're doing that, you're doing a good thing. You're doing a good thing. What you might want to think about is, I don't know if there's any kind of events you could put together to invite people that are not clients to get to know you. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
And on behalf of the Southeastern Connecticut Women's Network, we want to offer you our token of appreciation.
Well, thank you.
For your being here today.
Thank you so much.
And thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.